Hello, Bridge Builders! I'm here with some exciting news. The first volume of interviews is now available on Amazon.com. The link can be found at EatLunchandBoardGame.com. I promise that all proceeds from sales of this book will go right back into this podcast and channel. Whether that is new and better audio equipment for the podcast, or video equipment for the YouTube channel, or even more games to review, the money will not be wasted. Click over to Amazon and get your copy of Eat Lunch and Board Game, the first course today. And thank you for supporting the show. This episode is sponsored by Fortuna Games, STL. Owners Will and Ashley have a quaint shop here in St. Louis City. They have lots of Magic the Gathering and Pokemon cards on hand, as well as board games and accessories, like card sleeves that I am always ranting about. Use coupon code ELABG10 for 10% off your purchase. If you don't see what you're looking for on their website, fortunagames.net, just email them and see if they can get it for you at fortunagames@gmail.com. Fortuna Games, for all your lunchtime board gaming needs. I mentioned a few times, like dozens probably, that the son and I love to read books about board games at bedtime. I have also mentioned one such book many times, Family Games, The 100 Best by Jeremy Lauder. Recently, I organized the first Protospiel St. Louis, where we had over 40 designers come and show their game designs and over 50 playtesters come and play them. As part of the badge purchase, the store where we were holding the event offered 10% off purchases. So, I perused the store and found Sid Sackson's 1980 classic, Can't Stop. What really drew me to it was that it was in the ding and dent section at an already low price. This was due to the box being really banged up. Photo in the show notes. So I could not turn it down with an additional 10% off. Can't Stop was one of the 100 games from the book, designed by Sid Sackson, and it was under $5. Needless to say, that game found its way into my bag with all of its packaging tape holding it together. The son and I sat down to play it a few nights ago. He wanted to play a video game instead, but he humored me. We ended up playing it twice in a row, and he didn't bother with the video game. Alright, welcome back to Eat Board Game. I'm your host, Adam Collins. Let's take a look at the rule clarity for Can't Stop. Honestly, the rules are so simple, like stupid simple. The single sheet rules are made up of as many examples as they are rules. The rules are quite simple and quite clear. Time to explain to newcomers. I taught my mother-in-law in about 5 minutes. There are just not a lot of rules. Gameplay. Why did it take only 5 minutes to teach my mother-in-law? I keep saying there are not many rules and that they are quite clear. How clear? Well, let me tell you. On your turn, you roll 4 dice. You must make 2 pairs from the roll. They can be the same number, and this is actually better, or they can be 2 separate numbers. You then take the runners, in my version they're white pieces, and place them at the lowest square on the numbers 2 through 12. You can't have a sum of 1 with 2 dice. Then you can either stop rolling and replace the white runners with your colored pieces, or you can push your luck and roll again. If you roll again, you're hoping to roll a combination in which you already have a runner. There are 2 caveats. If you cannot match numbers you are already running, you lose your progress. Also, you only have 3 runners. Okay, to help clarify all the weird stuff I just said, let me explain. First, you roll. You roll the dice and make a 5 and a 7. So you place the white runner at the bottom of both numbers. On your next roll, you cannot make a 5 or a 7, but you can make a 6 or 8. You only have 1 runner left and choose to run the 8. You decide to keep going. Now, on your third roll, you must hope to be able to make a 5, 7, or 8 with your results. You get a 7 and a 10. You advance your runner on the 7 up 1 space on the track. Now, you can choose to end your turn and save your progress, or roll again. You roll again and get an 8 and an 8. The 8 runner goes up 2 spaces now. You stop. You replace your white runners with your colored, and then on your next turn, if you were to roll an 8, you would start the white runner on the next available space in the track. If you bust, you lose the progress only from that turn. If your opponent reaches the top of the board on a number, that number is now no longer available for anyone else. The road is now closed, and all pieces in that track are returned to their owner. The first player to get 3 of their color to the top wins. As the game progresses, it gets harder as more numbers are completed and are no longer available. The numbers are 2 through 12 as I mentioned, but the more common the number, the more spaces that number must be rolled. The 2 and 12 only require 3 rolls, while the 7, being the most common, requires 13 rolls. You have enough pieces to run on all the numbers, but be strategic. I'll tell you, you have to push it, be bold, or you will rarely win. Replayability. As I mentioned in the opening, the son and I played it twice the night we first learned it. Every time that we have played it twice. The dice make each game different. The decisions of when to go and stop are different each game. Component quality. So I had the most recent release of Can't Stop by Eagle-Gryphon Games. The board is a neoprene mat that rolls up nicely to fit diagonally in the box. The pieces are wooden. They have a tongue and groove cut so that they stack nicely. The dice are rounded corner D6 with engraved pips. All this boils down to a game that will last a while. Lunchtime potential. I recently took Can't Stop and what is left of its box to the office to play with my coworkers and get their opinion. I explained it and we got one game in under 60 minutes. With more players, it does extend the game just a hair over the 30-minute mark, yet it easily fits in under the 60-minute lunch hour. Artwork. Well, I am sure the box art looked better before it was demolished by unknown factors. Walter Paperl did the illustration for this version, and I do like the box art. I looked it up online to see it without all the tape. It looks better without the tape in case you were curious. Other. There are no other or expansions for Can't Stop. There are a lot of versions out there, though. Bang for the buck. The game currently retails for about $40. That does seem a little steep for the amount of components included. They are high quality, but I can understand the price. I highly advise searching this out, though, for under $25. You will get your money's worth out of it. I know I have, but I also paid less than $5 for my beat-up copy. Summary. I really need to stop reading books on board gaming. No. I have discovered so many great games because of these books, my guests, and you listeners. Can't Stop is another solid design by the great Sid Saxon. I have mentioned it before a few times on this show, but his game Acquire is beyond amazing. Also, it is getting a re-release this year. Keep your eyes out for it. I can't say that Can't Stop has earned to be included in the amazing classic games by the late amazing game creator. Having great stories of bad rolls and lucky rolls will come out of every game, and that is just one of the great aspects of Can't Stop. Playing with coworkers, friends, and family members will help you discover the bad influencers. They're the ones that will continue to tell you to keep rolling, especially if it is unwise to do so. Cheering and jeering goes a long way to make Can't Stop enjoyable. Find your copy for a good deal and start playing it. I can't stop playing it. As usual, you can reach out to me on Facebook at facebook.com/eatlunchandboardgame. Email me at lunchandboardgame@gmail.com. And remember, board games build bridges. When you're gaming, why not be comfy? Go over to supportplayer.org. Click on the cards, pieces, and dice to get some merch. These t-shirts are some of the most comfortable I have ever worn. That's supportplayer.org, and there's a link on eatlunchandboardgame.com.